Joey Jones. I
How's it
have
going, Kurt?
NSL TV. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Living the dream out here. On a weather hold again.
Weather hold. Well, so tell us first quickly. You said last time we talked you were in Sweden for the Swedish nationals. Now you have moved to England, right?
Yes, after the Swedish Nationals, we busted out here to England, and we've been here training for about the last month. Based in and around Hib. I've been up in the lakes doing a little hiking and paragliding in the off days, Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
Nice.
But boy, it has been a rough August for everybody. Our jump average in England is about 4 jumps per day. And we've done, and Eros has done over 200 jumps, but we did 172 in 15 days in Spain, and we've had 8 days here, and we've done like another 25 jumps or something like that. It's been really rough here.
Yeah.
This morning the drop zone got 5 quick loads off. We did 3. I think the girls did 2 or 3. Formulas here. We'll talk about that. All the teams are showing up, but nobody's really getting the jump. Tomorrow looks great though, but it's the last day before the Nationals. How many jumps do you want to try to do on the last day? But tomorrow and the weekend looks great. So I think we should have the Nationals finished in a couple of days. They've got great airplanes here. And if with great weather and the planes have it hit, we shouldn't have a problem.
You mentioned formula. Did I hear that right?
Yes, you did. It's the same. It's Pete Mather and Will and Dave, the team that I got the silver medal with 2 years ago. We did an 18-1, I believe, or 18-3. And they picked up Annie from the former NFTO, Annie Brentford. And they planned to do 40 jumps, but they've gotten 6 in their training so far. And they're going to try to do 15 jumps tomorrow, the day before Nationals. They're going to try to be on every load. Even though they might be a little tired, they need to train. They've done 45 minutes of tunnel. And they're just a pickup team, really. But they were hoping to have 3 or 4 days of, 12, 15 a day, really, is what they were hoping. But the weather hasn't cooperated with them. So they're at 6 jumps total. They'll probably, tomorrow, if they get 10 to 15, I think they'd be happy with how busy it's going to be. So they're going to have 30 jumps maybe, somewhere around there, 25 jumps. Those 3 did it. Pete Mathers moved to outside center, and Annie's gone to point, but she hasn't been on the front piece, so it's a new slot for her. But they've got no worries, right? They've got no training. They can do any engineering. They can really go for it with no stress. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up. You've got 3 people that have done an 18 plus together. Annie was 15, 16, I think, on an FTO. I don't know. I'd have to look back at the NSL logbooks. And then Pete went on to do a 20 plus, right? Or 20, 19-9 or 2. They got so they've got a bunch of experience and a bunch of possibilities. I'm sure they're going to scare a few of the teams that have done a lot of training this year, like Chimera and Eros, anyway, for those medals here at the Nationals.
Well, that's good. Competition is always good. So do we have anything coming from the Hi Lena.
Hi.
Is anything any word from like Satori or Excel, any of those?
Nope. John doesn't even think he's going to be here. He's been off mountain biking and just following some of their stuff. I really thought he would have been a great mix to put on the Formula team. Put MacGyver and Pete Mather on the front piece. MacGyver could go OC, keep Pete as point. But I don't know if John, is feeling up for it. I'm sure that just like Pete Allen, there's a time to hang up your hat and a time to let it go. So maybe John's just decided to let it go. So I think right now the teams, obviously we've got NFTO as our favorite, in my opinion anyway, coming as an outside coach's corner. They've done 227 jumps. They're hoping to have 230 or so, 230, 235. They're going to jump again tomorrow. They've got Roy Jansen's out here with them as their coach. He'll also be traveling with them to a World Cup. So they're obviously the favorite. They've made a lot of jumps. They've got a strong lineup now. They've always had a strong lineup. They've got so many choices here. So they're your favorite. I guess second place would be Chimera. They've done 250 jumps. And they even lost a half of a training camp. They had Sarah, was it, that she got in Eloy, she had some chest pains. And she went to the doctor, and they told her she had lung cancer, and she needed to get her affairs in order. This is a great story. You should talk to them. I'll try to get them on and let you have a conversation with them. It's going to be better told from them. But the doctors in America told her to get her affairs in order and get home immediately. And she had to fly back to England, and without knowing or thinking she had lung cancer. And then when she got back, it was some anomaly from all the 15 jumps a day that caused some swelling and some fluid. And it cleared itself up, and she was fine. And she's went on to make 250 jumps this year. I'll try to find the Chimera team and get them to tell you about it, because it was definitely an emotional moment for both her and the team in the middle of one of their main training camps. They have jumped around with coaches a bit. Nicholas is their main coach, but he's been busy with lineup changes and trying to get airspeed back on track. So they've had Dennis a little bit, and they've just been moving around with a little bit. But they've enjoyed it. They feel like they've got some tips from everybody, and they're putting it together. They're all experienced competitors, so they should be able to, make their own decisions about what to do. So I'm curious to see what they've done with that many of jumps. From the last year, they weren't super happy with their performance, and they were mid-17s or low 17s, I think. They don't have that information in front of me, but so I'm curious to see what they're going to put together.
So it is recording again. Okay, Joey, we were interrupted. So there was a little connection outage, but we're back here now. And I think we just left the audience when you were talking about the Chimera accident there, and they are back now and everything's good.
Yeah, Chimera's got a great story. We'll try to find them tomorrow if they're here and see if we can get them to tell you about it, because it definitely caused a little damper in their training, but I know they've come back hard. And one advantage they have is they're a local team from Langer. They all live local, so they've done a lot of training at the end of the day, just getting out to the drop zone after work and making banging out a few jumps.
Oh,
and that's helped them pad their numbers to make up for the jumps they've lost. So I don't know if they've lost a lot of jumps, but they went the extra mile to get the jumps they needed to get the training in. So, and they've done the most jumps of anybody here. So like I said, I'm really excited to see what they have for those jumps.
That's my dream. That's like magic used to be. All four living in the same town, and then after work or whenever, you can practice whenever you want to, basically.
Yeah. Bad weather, you just go home, and then you just come back when it's good. And that provides them a lot of advantages to being that close and that local. So I'm not for sure they're behind on jump numbers, but I just know that they had a little bit of a rough road in the middle there. But she's doing fine. Everything's great, and they're full steam ahead. And I really want to challenge for the gold medal here. So we'll be looking to see what happens there.
Yeah. Well, it would be interesting also now to see the first NFTO scores. Because we are looking at the French team when we talk NFTO, right?
Yes. Do we have any scores to the French yet? No.
Yes. We had two meets already. One was the Coupe de France with a 20.2, and then the French Nationals with a 20.2. So they had to accept a pretty significant drop. There were all kind of reasons for that, but NFTO will surely be on this level.
The original lineup from the French?
Yep. Mm-hmm. The new lineup with Gail in the tail slot. They have a new member because Pamela, and they have scrambled basically all slots, because and Sophia are now in the center slots, and so there have been some significant changes. But fact is, they posted 2 times 20.2, and NFTO will be on that level for sure.
Yeah, I would hope so. They were 20-point average last year, and they've done 225 jumps. You would hope they're gonna add something to that average on that kind of training. Wow, I didn't know that I haven't been following all of the international scores. That's a pretty significant drop from the 23s that they were consistently posting back in the day.
Yeah,
they might have to. Yeah, they were solidly 23s or low 24s, but Matu might have to reshuffle some of that funding get those girls some jumps.
Yep, that they may have to change, but we'll see. The World Cup will eventually tell us the truth. Where they all compete directly with each other. So, and the French are really at the beginning. I'm sure that they will come up stronger at the World Cup. But NFTO will be close. So I'm curious now to see where NFTO is. So that's exciting. When do they start?
Yeah, I'm sure. What was that?
When do they start? When is on?
We start Saturday morning, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are the 4 days for the nationals here. But from the weather, it looks like we should be done on Sunday, unless we get a lot of teams. We're not exactly sure how many teams we're going to have this year, but we've got. But I'm sure the girls are going for that 21 average, which I think is one of the highest averages done here by a UK team. So we hope that's what they're shooting for. And then, like I said, we've talked about Formula's got a good shot at one of those medals. And then Eros, my team as well, has probably got a shot for one of the medals, you know. We've done 210 jumps, and, you know, we're starting pretty far behind Chimera and definitely not in the mix with the girls. But hopefully it'll be a fun race for that. Those got 4 teams in there. It should be pretty competitive, at least in the beginning going. So could be a fun nationals.
And then we'll see the same 3 teams again in Eloy.
Yes.
Later.
Yes, we'll all be in Eloy. The Formula won't be there, obviously, but Eros and Chimera and the NFTO will all be there. I guess we're still not sure what category NFTO is competing in, but
no decision yet?
I guess not. They say it's not made, but I'm pretty sure they've entered in the open class. But I think they're still hoping to compete in the women's category. I don't know. I've just turned, you know, but they'll have to. I guess only time will tell. That's above my pay grade. I pretty much don't stay out of stuff with the BPA, so. You know, they're a governing organization that gets to make decisions about.
They're giving the money too.
Yeah, so exactly.
Whoever has the money.
Yeah, they're giving the money. I understand some of the BPA's things about the money being based on how many participants you have, but I also think there should be some consideration into teams that are going to bring home medals for your country and help, you know, promote your sport both outside of the sport, because to go in an open class position and get 10th isn't going to do the same as bringing home a medal and getting local coverage on TVs and news programs and hopefully bringing more people into the sport. So there's 2 sides to every story. But, you know, the BPA has done things personally to me that I didn't think were very fair. So I'm not in the best place to think about it. Maybe they're not being fair to the girls either.
Yeah, but the nationals, UK
happens. I'm sure. I know that this year they have to make a decision after the nationals what they want to do. You know, they have to let the BPA know what category they're going for, so it doesn't get into this mess that they've gotten in. So,
yeah.
Personally, I think you should make your quote before the nationals. Like, I'm here competing for the female slot, and you can still win the overall open championships with the BPA nationals. But when you enter, you enter the nationals and you already dictate what you're doing, because then it's easy. And if you're trying to win the open slot, you say you want to win the open slot. If you're trying to win the female slot, you win the female slot. But anyway, those are BPA bureaucracy problems, and I'm not in that. I'm a fighter. I'm on the other side of the camera, and I want to stay there. So I don't want to say too much bad about the people in the office doing all the paperwork, because they are still the ones doing all the paperwork. And if I really wanted to change it, I should run for office. But I'm not. It's not going to happen.
Well, it's an interesting discussion no matter what. So talking about it is interesting no matter what.
Yes, it's still good to talk about it, but I just don't want to criticize too much when I don't know all the details that go into what they have to do and how much work it takes. But it's I can see why if the girls have to go open, that's fine. They go open, they get the money, they make the progress, and then the next year they go for the Golden Russia. It makes sense to me. It's not a bad plan. So I'm not really knocking what they're doing either, but if you fight the BPA too much, it might cost them next year. You know, maybe they should just take the open money, take the open category, and then come back next year and try to fight to get more equal pay for, you know, their medals and all that. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, let's see how they perform. Right now, they had a lot of money. They need to prove that they do something with it as well, right? I mean, you've got a lot of training and a lot of funding. Let's see what they can do at the World Cup, especially. This is probably a training meet for them, really, to go and do their best performance there. So I'm curious to see what they've done with the new lineup and the new focus and all that.
Yeah. Well, we had all kind of scenarios already. Now, I mean, NFTO won last year's nationals, right? And they did not compete in the open class. No, they may have to compete in the open class. They're interesting. It wouldn't be the first time, no matter what anyway, because the French female team, remember in 2012, I believe it was, or maybe 13, I don't know. They competed in the open class in Postejov at the World Cup.
Right.
You know, not in the female category. They compete in the open. So it wouldn't be the first time that such a thing is happening.
No. Oh, no.
No, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Joey, I guess I'm hoping that I can get a hold of you again on the weekend in the middle of
Yeah. I could try to get, we can try to talk maybe Saturday afternoon or evening when the jumping is done, or if we get weather hold, if you can be available. Because obviously morning is no good for you. So I can probably let's shoot for Saturday evening whenever we finish jumping. I can try to.
Yeah, whenever it fits in, we'll see. I'll be on standby over the weekend because, you know, I'll be curious anyway how it's going.
We've also got the Aussie Indoor Championships going on this weekend. So good luck to all my Aussie teams that I've helped, that I coached this year. I got 2 weeks in Oz in September and October. I basically go from the World Cup right to Australia, and I did 15 hours already. So I've got a couple teams competing. Good luck to you guys and have the best performance. And so.
Yeah, it's a winter season there now, the winter indoor season, right? Yes. And then after the World Cup, the summer begins in Australia.
Yeah, this is their nationals is this weekend. So you've got some coverage there. You need to find out who's going to be your roving reporter there.
Yeah.
Australia
okay.
for the weekend.
Okay, Joey. Well, good luck with everything.
I will be following the Aussie Indoor Championship, so I can talk about that as well tomorrow night.
Okay.
Thank you, Kurt. Pleasure talking to you.
Joey.
All right.
Have a good time there. Bye.